appetite before murder. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shadi Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the what? Smith. Am I okay? When the trap failed, Smith. I'm not okay. Evidently, I'm not okay. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin.
Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club that night of the murder?
I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him.
You were planning this all along, weren't you, right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial.
The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now.
I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took your defense. It appears that I was wrong.
I quit as your defense attorney.
Very well. The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Justice?
Sir!
He's lying, and you're going to expose him.
Understood, sir?
Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well.
Why can't I have a normal trial? Because then you wouldn't be a fucking main character in Ace Attorney. There's no such thing as normal. Okay. I know the... should I press this stuff? It would be good back info, I think. But I also... that's okay. We'll be fine. I need to... present... picture... Wait, do I need to present the picture? When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut to his forehead. I know there's a contradiction, but what picture do I show for this? Well, hang on, 1 second. I know the answer, I just don't know which evidence I'm supposed to show for this. And when you returned, the victim was already dead. Yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in.
A little?
He was bleeding from his forehead after all.
I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that.
That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Okay, so the idea is that Nick shouldn't have known that there was blood coming from a cut on his forehead because of this photo, I think? Huh? Okay, so, alright, I got it. Also, you might have been able to tell by this point, but when you get the answer right, the music stops. That's a good tell that you made the right choice. If the music doesn't stop and you choose something, then you know you've done it wrong. Just so you guys know.
Mr. Wright, if I may?
Yes?
Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat.
I like it. It's a nice bowler hat. Is that what you call them? Bowler? No, top hat? I don't know what kind of... No, bowler is a round cap, right? A round hat. I don't know what you call that. I think it's a top hat. It's like a short top hat. A Panama hat? No, that's not it. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead.
Huh. Good point. Sorry, this is... Oh, what? I said this song stressed me out just like fucking like 10 minutes ago. And I'm singing to it. Fuck. God damn it. Look, this song stresses me out, but god damn it, all the Ace Attorney songs are fucking dope as shit. They're all so fucking good.
Justice, next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it.
Mr. White, can you explain this to the court?
I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat back on his head.
Eh? You?
You put the hat on the dead man's head?
He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph.
And?
I picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head.
Whoa, why would you do a thing like that? You tampered with the fucking crime scene, you dumbass!
All I can say is, I'm sorry. But that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene.
So, Miss O really didn't see it?
it being the victim's, his head? I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head. Ah, here we go again. Mr. Gavin? Ahem, pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case. Hey, he's still our client, isn't he?
In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence.
Oh.
Push him harder, Justice. Break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO.
Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore?
I mean, to be fair to Kristoff, you shouldn't be, considering that he's pitting you for a crime.
My water is stale because I wasn't drinking enough of it. Not that anyone cares. Okay, so what do I gotta do? Trap failed, Smith the witness, girl was knocked out cold. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know, blah blah blah. Okay. Expose him. Yeah. Okay. So I have to press something then, I think? Blood streaming from a cut to his forehead. And then that's when I made another call. I'll press this, I guess. See what he says.
Could you explain why you called Mr. Gavin?
I'd obviously gotten involved in a rather sticky affair. And I figured Kristoff's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees.
Ah, glad to hear you intend to pay.
Oh, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved after all.
You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high.
Is this the truth? Oh, okay, so no, that wasn't it. What do I have to do then, I wonder? Let's fucking see. That evening, Kristoff and I had dinner. We sat at the table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Let's fucking press. I don't know. 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? That would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Kristoff Gavin and Shady Smith may have met?
I believe I did say that.
Here I was all nervous about this meeting, and now we hear that they just passed in the hall?
That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder.
Oh, it would be, if that was all that really happened.
Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time?
When the trap oh, is it maybe the trap? I have to hear about the trap? Because of the planted card thing? About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga really mentioned?
The plan was simple, elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hand would reveal, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and trap would snap shut.
You still have the cards. I think my voice is giving out. Does it sound like it's giving out? It's okay. I'm not a singer. It doesn't matter to me.
Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces.
Yes, a harmless prank in essence. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it.
A quirk?
What is this, My Hero Academia? Are you a hero now, Phoenix? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found the card. Which is interesting because you would think Olga would have noticed him putting his hand in his pocket during the game. But, well, I guess not.
The card she planted.
Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was a 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card. Before the game.
Disposed? Where?
I ate it. There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking beside me. I threw the card inside that bottle.
An empty bottle of grape juice?
The murder weapon! Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see.
A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like a terrific drama.
A card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigations? Maybe I'll take a look. Yeah, we saw it. We looked at we examined the bottle.
and it shows nothing in it. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves of this battle awards. Please revise your testimony with this new information. So I'm not gonna check it here because you guys, there's nothing in there. So that's actually a contradiction we have to provide. I guess we could, we don't need to check it. I was gonna say we could just do a quick check, but fuck it, it's not worth it.
Mr. Wright, if I may?
Yes.
I've examined the bottle and, I don't see any card in here.
No. What, Mr. Wright? Surely, isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however.
Huh? Perhaps a 5th person came and took it out. Oh, and a 6th person could have helped.
Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client.
My apologies, Your Honor.
I won't have you disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing.
So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? I believe that is enough of that. Mr. Gavin? This witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled with lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Kristoff. I never knew.
I believe it was you who threw the first stone.
Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never.
Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well.
Oh, reason?
That reason is right here.
Your cell phone?
That night, recall that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation, which is weird because you would think, unless you want to get specifics to talk about warrants and shit, but like, you would think that the fucking police would have examined his phone and like checked in on like calls and like recorded messages and stuff, right? Like investigated it since he did use it, but whatever, warrants, I guess.
What's this?
Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court.
Moshi moshi, Jesus desu.
Kristoff, I seem to be in a bit of trouble.
What's this? Game not going well?
Something like that.
That gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good?
He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard.
You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china pate?
Whatever that is. I assume it's like kind of like a plate, but French.
It wasn't you, was it? Me?
Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands. Should it come to that.
You notice that? You notice what he said though? You notice what he fucking said? Bone china plate?
A kind of porcelain. Very smooth, shiny, and not plate, but pate? Pate. Okay, I think pate would have the accent mark over the E, right? Like the food pate. Maybe it's pate. Whatever. I'm not French. I believe he was referring to that certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead.
Wait a second. Something's not right about that phone call.
Y'all know? Y'all get it, right? Y'all get that Kristoff be fucking saying dumb shit to fucking what's the word? Indicate his fucking ass of being the fucking responsible party.
So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left the Borscht Bowl Club.
He left the Borscht Bowl Club? I said that the wrong tone, most certainly.
Then how did he know? When did he see this bone china pate?
Oh, that's right. Yes, that was when I began to see my good friend in a different light.
Stop! I shouldn't be singing to this song!
Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. And when I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court? Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head?
So, this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's head back on.
Your point, Mr. Gavin? It's come down to this, has it, Phoenix Wright?
Stop! I'm supposed to not like this song. Apparently, I do like this song. Maybe it's just when it's attached to a certain graphic that I don't like it. Whatever.
Order! I will have order! Mr. Payne!
Yes, Your Honor!
I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear Defense Attorney Gavin's testimony?
Well, as a prosecutor,
Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well. This will be the final recess for the day.
It's 2:32. It's like about 2 hours and then a break.
Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chamber.
Which is weird. Why is the judge talking to the fucking defendant? Whatever. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know how courts work.
Who'd have thought today would turn out like this?
May I?
Oh my god, who's that? Who's this little pretty lady? Oh my god, we've never seen her before.
Huh? What?
Hello, sir. Please pick a card.
What's all this about?
Is this one okay?
Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You'll need a trump card to make it. Maybe we shouldn't call it trump card. Maybe we should call it something cooler. You'll need never mind.
A trump card?
The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours.
I think I might probably change. She's a recurring character, in case you didn't know. I might change it later, but for now, we'll just leave it at that.
That's all.
It's an ace! An ace? Where do I remember that card from? There's also a little thing on it.
Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true! I have seen it! The 5th ace! That was cheating, I swear to you!
The missing 5th ace!
Wait, this splotch of red.
Is this blood? Blood that's like a day old like that probably wouldn't be that bright of a red, but we'll go with it.
You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands.
I know you can do it. I know you can do it. I know you can do it.
No, it's definitely not gonna be that. We'll just go normal then. Forget it, whatever. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth? And who was that hat girl? I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl. I'd seen her recently, but where? And that's when I made the connection.
Yeah, it's a you, baby girl. Oh,
bloody ace has been added to the court record. Why you just accept outside fucking evidence from someone that's supposed to be unrelated to the goddamn case? I don't know. I also don't know if you're allowed to submit evidence that hasn't been shown. I mean, whatever. Ace attorney has always been like, defense attorney finds their own evidence and they prove it, whatever. I don't fucking care, whatever. Court will now reconvene. Defense attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, Mr. The witness state his name and occupation?
Is this false and necessary, Your Honor? Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. Yeah, if you played the trilogy games, you'd know.
Fine, I'll play along.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How did you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald.
Forgive my curiosity, but what is it about this fellow's head? Your Honor seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Thumb? Hey! There's a hottie next to me now! Hey! Listen to that fucking 8-bit music. I don't know if it's 8-bit, but you can really tell there's a clear difference in like how it sounds in comparison to like the other music in this game, because it's ripped from the fucking main games which are older. But I wouldn't call it inordinate. What? I wouldn't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Wright!
What do you think you are doing, Wright? Wow, things sure look different from the other side. You know what I mean, Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. The victim wore that hat all night, never once taking it off except for that one time. That one time being the instant he was hit. Oh! When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was lying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have had to be at the scene of the crime. At the time of the crime. In other words, you have to be the real killer, is what you're trying to say. Oh, you see that? He looked slightly more up. Did he? I think? Did I just make that up? I don't know. Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin, I am afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court. What? Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. And yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Apollo. Oh wait, what now, Apollo? Sorry. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night. Wow, I have to fucking just constantly speak his words now. Like, oh, fucking this accent is... I mean, his accent has been failed from the beginning. But, like, you know. You know what I mean. It's gonna fucking just... I'm just gonna be like, he's gonna be a fucking hillbilly at this point. Finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night?